I have always been very open with you guys and very transparent about my life. I am not like other people who are online every day. Some people call them influencers. Yes, sometimes I influence people in their lives to get better, to do better, to be better. Okay? I have never shied away from talking about the person that I used to be. Right? So there is somebody who's like, it's not always sunshine and roses, and I want to meet the real you, not the internet you. And I'm like, I've even had another friend say that to me, and I'm like, but this is who I am. They're like, no way, there's no way you could be happy and nice and everything's good and sunshine all the time. I never fucking say it is. I have never once came on here and been like, look at all the bad things other people did to me. I did nothing wrong. I am always open to admit that I am wrong about something, because that's how you learn and change and grow. And I am literally living proof. There are people on here who have known me for a very long time. Some of you have, the older people who use social media, you guys have known me since I was a child. You know, people the same age as me, we grew up together. We went to the same schools together. You know exactly the type of person I have been in every stage of my life. Or every year, you know, like 20s, 30s, 40s. I'm 42 now. And I'm very open and honest. It's very hard to admit you do things wrong and that you don't like the person that you used to be, or you don't like the person that you are in that moment. I hated who I was. If I, like, there's two versions of me, right? Like, this is what I told my son the other day. I literally have lived three different versions of life. I lived massive abuse as a child, like physical, mental, psychological, verbal abuse until I, you know, almost 12. Then for a very long time, from like age 12 to 35, a lot of psychological, mental, and verbal abuse. Okay? Still, there was a bunch of physical abuse that happened to me, but it was from like injuries, things that I've done, and things that have happened to my body. That's the physical. My emotional still affects me physically to this day. Um, but I mean, like, somebody causing me physical abuse. And it's happened sporadically through my life. I have stopped talking to a lot of people because they are very toxic people. And they're not healthy where I am in my journey. And they were hurting me a lot over and over again. So I've stopped talking to certain family members, certain friends, and those people have stopped talking to me too. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and tell you that I used to be a good person. Like I said, I fucking despised myself. I hated how I thought, act, treated people. And I've worked very, very hard on myself. I'm not going to sit here online and pretend that I wasn't one of those toxic people. Yes, I was. I was because of the way I was raised. Sorry, I just got to do this real quick. I was for the way I treated people, treated myself. And I come on here every day so transparent about what I go through on a daily basis. I can't talk to as many friends and family members as I have. So I go online on social media. And one of my family members is like, I don't want to learn about your life through the internet. And I'm like, but that's what it's there for. That's what the internet is for. So we can communicate virtually, online. I have a lot of shit I do every day. I can't stay on the phone with everybody telling them everything that I fucking go through. I can't. So I do use social media so people can stay up to date with my life and what I'm going through. And like I say 100 times, I'm very transparent with you guys. I'm very honest with you. I show you everything. The up, the down, the good, the great, the wonderful, the beautiful, and then the awful, heartbreaking, traumatic, hurtful, horrible, painful things. Because guess what? That's what real life is. I'm not going to be like these other people online on social media and just show you I'm so happy, hee hee. No, I cry. I have mental breakdowns online. And that's so relatable and normal for people because that's what happens to people. We are all completely different. We have all, even though we are living on this planet, every single one of us has a different life and is going through something, if not thousands of things at one time. I just want to show you guys that you can get better. You can become a better person. You can change. Some people say, oh, once a cheater, always a cheater. Once an abuser, always abuser. Once a fucked up, mental deranged person, you'll always be fucked up and deranged. Do you know how much fucking brain damage I have from what I've gone through? It has not been easy to become a better version of myself. I am very proud of myself because I used to live my life and I used to be with this mind and this body forever, for 42 years now. I know what my mind used to be like. I know what my life used to be like, and I know how I used to behave and treat people. I lied. I gossiped. I talked shit about people. I treated them badly. And I acted like I was the main character. And I'm not. I'm just a character in this life. It is never too late to work on yourself and change. It's never too late. Admit your faults. I went to therapy, a lot of different therapists. I started realizing what my mother was doing was toxic. What I was doing was toxic. And I was teaching that to my child. So for the past, this June is 7 years, I have been paying attention on how I treat people and how I think and act and why I do certain things. And I learned it from therapy, from a professional, from an unbiased person who didn't know a single thing about me or my family. And if you think that you could lie to them and get away with it, you can't do that. That's not what they're there for. They're not there to hear what you think they want to hear. They're here to for you to tell the truth. For you to really admit the shit that you fucking do. Because guess what they can do? They can break everything down that you've said. Because it's not just, you can lie to them, but they will ask you follow-up questions. And it all depends on how you react from that. What's your response? What's your body language? Did you come up with another, like, they can tell those things. They can tell when you're lying to them because they speak to people every hour of the day, every day of the week, or 5 days a week if they're only working. You think they can't tell when you're lying? Or when you're not telling the truth? They'll pick from what you say and then start another conversation, ask another question. So you can go in there and pretend that you have PTSD or anxiety to get medication, but the more you spend time with them, the more they're gonna realize what you're doing is wrong or unhealthy, and they will teach you healthy boundaries, how to set them for yourself, for your relationship with your children, for your parenting, if you're a student in school, a friend, a family member. Like, they taught me so many coping mechanisms and coping tools that I still use to this day. And it has helped me learn how to regulate my emotions. It is okay to have all of them. But it's not okay for rage to be your number one reaction to everything. And that's what mine was. My mother was a very bad person who didn't change. I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to continue being and acting and thinking like her. I wanted to be myself. Not the person I was trained to be. And I know people hate that word, but you're a mother, you're a parent, you train your children. You are teaching them everything in life. Everything can be a life lesson. Teach them with love and acceptance and understanding and compassion and empathy. Give them everything that you didn't have. And raise beautiful children, not monsters. Go to parenting classes like I did. Go to therapy. Learn, research, do better, be better. There's so many things out there to help you get better. All you have to do is reach out and ask for help. If you need my help, I will use anything that I've learned through all the years of therapy and going to psychiatric hospitals and go from a verbally abusive mother who criticized their child over 80% of the time instead of lifting him up and praising him for the good things that he did. Like I said, I broke the cycle. I refused to raise my child the way my mother raised me. But sometimes that person just had control all the time. And now it's like I take that rage and I use it when it's appropriate. That person, or that type of person I was, came out to play all the time. And now I only let it come out when I say so. I've learned to control so many emotions and be so stable. I have money in my bank account. I know how to spend my money. I know how to take care of my body and my mind. There's nothing wrong with getting therapy. Because they're professionals. Like I said, they can teach you what happened to you wasn't right. They can teach you how to rewire, retrain your own brain, and heal your inner child. I'm still healing. And I'm 42. And I don't think I'll ever stop healing. How can you ever get over the shit that I went through? And it's okay that I don't. I used to apologize every time I cried. And now I don't anymore. Because it's completely normal. My borderline personality disorder is the normal way that I reacted from all the trauma that I had. My CPTSD, that is the not normal way your brain reacts when it's just every day. So fucking much. And I was around my abuser, my torturer, my tormentor, for 35 years. It's only been 7 I've been away from her. So, it's going to take me a long time to heal from that 35 years of fucking hell. Just tell people to be a lot more gentle with yourself. You can't change overnight. It's a long time. And it's taken me 7 years to get to where I am today. So, I never will come on here and say that I was a good person, because I wasn't. But I am now. I just remembered I forgot to say something or finish something in my story. Like I was saying, I'm like 3 different versions of myself. I lived like a lot of abuse and just scared all the time and terrorized. Then I went through the mental, verbal, psychological abuse till I was 35. And now, for the past 7 years, it's been so peaceful and quiet and lovely and no drama, no trauma. Just everything's going really great. So it's like I've lived different lives. But it's been all my life. It's like there's different versions of me. Now I have better control of my emotions, and I help a lot of people through things and get through things because I was able to, I did that. My life was like that. So one of my friends is like, I love talking to you, and instead of doing something bad, I come to talk to you. I'm like, you can always talk to me. I will. And they're like, I love how you break things down, instead of just being like, oh, you should talk to somebody about that, or they don't have answers. I'm like, a lot of people don't have answers. Your friends, you can turn to them. Some people will consider it trauma dumping, but some people just need somebody to listen to, okay? They're going through a really hard time. I'm there for other people in different ways. Do you want me to just completely shut up? I'll listen to you. Just talk to me. Do you want a hug? Do you want me to hold your hand? Do you want me to just listen, or do you want me to make a plan? Because I'm a fixer, too. I got plans. I've been through some shit. I've got a lot of fucking, notes I've been taking for years. And tips and tricks I can teach people. And anyways, this person's like, you really, like, talk to me and explain things and, like, let me know why I'm doing it and then teach me a healthy, alternative or, to breathe or give myself a few seconds or be gentler with myself. Every single person that I speak to in the DMs who end up writing me, I went to my first mental therapy today and it went really well. I've been going to therapy for 3 weeks and it's going great. And instead of like all the bad things, now they're talking about all the good things that are in their lives. And it's just, I always wanted to be a case manager for people. And now I am that, but I don't have my license or anything. I'm not paid to do it. I do it, and I'll do it again and again and again because people need people. We need each other. And the healthier I am, the more that I could teach people how to parent, adult, be a good daughter, be a good friend, help themselves physically and mentally, like medically, physically and mentally. Get them to go to certain doctors, finally find out what's wrong with them, get a treatment plan, whether that's medication or not. You don't always have to go on medication to get better from something. Then to start going to therapy, that's who you can really trauma dump on, because that's what their profession is. That's it. That's their job, to process you, to help you process through what you're going through. Anxiety. I've had anxiety attacks. I've had full-on mental breakdowns. I've had panic attacks in there, and I was safe every time. She helped me get through them, process, understand why I'm breaking down like that, letting me know why I'm getting overstimulated and why I keep having these episodes. She taught me so much, and it is very important. If the first person doesn't work, go to another therapist. Go to a different type of therapy. Do not stop because you're giving up on yourself. And who better in your whole entire life would want you to get more better than you? It's you. Like, of course your family wants to love you and support you and help you get better. But you should be the main person in your entire life who wants you to get better and to keep fighting. It's hard. It is not easy. It has been painful these past 7 years. It has been. But I've gotten through so much, and some of the stuff that I'm not ready for, I go, boop, let's shut that door. I'm not ready to explore that right now. I know mentally and physically I'm not ready. And now I can do that. But there's something else I wanted to say that I didn't explain in the first video. When I said if there were different versions of me, if I met myself, like let's say I had David when I was 19, so let's say all through my 20s, if I went back into the past, I wouldn't have liked myself. I wouldn't have been friends with myself. I wouldn't have. I'd be like, ooh, person's got a lot of toxic traits and, is hurting me as well. Or I can't be there for her. There's so many things wrong with her. I've had friends that have run away because of that, and I'm totally friends with them now, and they've apologized, and I was like, you don't have to. It was causing you to get triggered a lot. Totally understand. Anyways, I wouldn't have been friends with myself. Maybe now I try to help that person, as much as I possibly can, but boy, oh boy, was I a lot. I was a lot. So it's nice to be able to have control. Like, almost the proverbial reins, holding on to all those horses. That's how I've explained myself, too. I'm the carriage, I'm on top of the coach, and I'm holding all the reins to, like, 300 horses for my mental and physical and, like, all this shit that's happened to me. Now I have, like, more and more control over all those reins. So, yeah. If you ever need help, let me know. I'll try to help in any way that I can. But, like I said, it takes a lot of work. It's hard. It's painful. It's re-victimizing, re-traumatizing. And living through the physical and mental abuses, it's not easy at all. But, there's a lot of things out there that help me get through all of the stages of my life and all of my stages of healing. The most has been with Kayla and Wendy. I had no idea healing and working through a lot of injuries. You hold on to a lot of the trauma, a lot of physical trauma. And it goes hand in hand, obviously. Physically hurt, it fucks you up mentally too. So I'm really glad I was able to get the help that I was, because I really like and love the person that I am now. Yeah. Crawled my way out. I always told people it felt like I was in a dark pit, no matter how much I climbed. I could never reach the surface. Not only did I reach the surface, years later, I fucking started burying that hole. Yeah.